Hey, Gary here with Tennessee Stands. Hey, bear with me on this one because something happened today at the Capitol in committee on this patients' rights bill that you need to see. It is one of the most egregious things I've seen yet in terms of a committee and a committee chair being willing to use the power given them per the rules of the House to shut down the voice of the people. We sent out an email this weekend encouraging you on several bills as there's a lot of important things happening in the legislature this week. One of those was today at noon in the Health Subcommittee in the House. And that was a hearing on HB 2486. That's the Patients or Healthcare Recipients Rights Act. It's a bill to protect patients' rights in the hospital. It's a bill that simply says whenever a patient goes into the hospital, they have a right to designate an advocate and a right to direct their own medical care and a right to have someone with power of attorney or an immediate family member with them to advocate on their behalf for their medical treatment if they become incapacitated. It's a simple bill. It simply takes the power out of the hands of the hospitals and puts the power in the hands of the patient. And this bill's important because, look, you and I that are willing to tell the truth, that has been paying attention to what has been happening for the last 2 years, you know what happens when people go into the hospitals with the big C. They bar their families from entry and they never see them again. Remdesivir, vent, death. Remdesivir, vent, death. Wash, rinse, repeat. And it's happened over and over and over again throughout the country, including here in Tennessee. But today takes the cake because we have a bill up that would fix that and simply give a patient the right to have a family member, to have someone there on their behalf to advocate for health care, for medical treatment that they may or may not want. And perhaps it's not the hospital's decision to make, but it's the patient's decision to make or their spouse's decision to make. You common sense people that follow Tennessee Stands, I know you hear what I'm saying, and to us, it just makes sense. But to the people that only care about control and somehow that have bowed their soul to the spirit of the age, they either don't care or they simply can't see the truth. It's imperceptible to them. So I'm going to show you some clips. I'm going to show you what happened in committee today. Don't turn me off. Watch this video. So what you're about to see, I'm going to set it up. It's the end of the meeting. The committee Chairman Bob Ramsey, assured Representative Todd Warner of District 92, who we love and is a hardcore patriot, taking arrows from these muckety mucks every single day because he's willing to put bills out there that the people want. The problem is they don't want them. But Representative Warner was assured that he would be heard today and that the men and women that showed up to testify would be heard today, two of which are physicians, one of which is Alicia Rodriguez, whose husband Adam died at 36 years old, died in the hospital from COVID. Of course, you know, the poor hospital tried everything they could to save his life, yet would not allow his wife to see him. He died. She was unable to advocate for his medical care, and she never saw her husband again. Now she's raising their 3 children on her own. She was there today to speak on her husband's behalf, to get someone to listen to their story on what happened. And here's what went on in the committee room.
I had promised, I know we've still got lots of items, but I had promised we had an issue and had a request from one of the sponsors here. Chairman Todd Warner had asked us, there were 2 of his witnesses that could not be I guess, diverted from being here today, and I promised him the last 10 minutes to let them speak. It's on item that we're not going to get to today. 24, House Bill 2486. Do you still request that, sir?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. If you'd bring your folks up and,
Three people, sir.
yeah, okay.
Are we
Just-
going to take any action on the bill today, or are we
No,
just going to hear the
no.
witnesses? No action on the bill then, right?
No.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No time. I'm going to ask for a motion and second on the bill, and then we're going to go out of session, and you folks, we'll give you 3 minutes here, and then we'll have some questions as time allows. Any objections to that process? If not, I'll ask for a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Werner, I'm sorry we have no motion or second on the bill. We have a motion, no second. The process fails for lack of a second.
I mean, the smugness on this guy's face. The process fails for lack of a second. So let me tell you what's happening here. In order for a bill to be heard, someone on the committee has to motion for the bill to be heard, and then someone has to give a proper second to the motion. Once there's a motion and a second, then the committee can hear the bill. The problem is someone made a motion, but no one made a second. And they did this while they were looking Miss Rodriguez as she's there to give her testimony about her dead husband. And they're looking at this woman in the face who came to give her testimony. Oh, we don't have a second. It's the will of the committee. We just don't have a second to hear you today. Keep going.
Yes. Okay, the chair will stand for a motion to adjourn. If there's no personal orders. Yes, sir. Chairman Byrd.
I was wanting to.
No. Now let's stop this. I'll have the place cleared. Now I've tried to live up to my promise to the sponsor, and the ultimate decision here is made by the committee. Go ahead.
All right, Elmer Fudd. Yeah, you tried to live up to your promise to the sponsor. Then why didn't you second the motion? If you did want to live up to your promises to the chairman, to Representative Warner, to Miss Rodriguez, to all of these people wearing red, to everyone who's sitting before you to be heard, you couldn't second the motion? You just couldn't get a proper motion to hear the bill? Let's see who else couldn't second the motion. Representative Warner, by the way, before I get to this, and how he admonishes with his gavel. He admonishes the little children. Oh, no. We're not gonna do that in here. This is what's in Nashville. This is what we've been trying to tell you over and over and over again, making videos like this to show you, to wake you up. Because guess what? These aren't Democrats killing the bills. All of you nice, lovely, God-fearing, just polite conservatives around the state of Tennessee, let me make you understand something. Democrats are not killing these bills in Tennessee. They can't, because Republicans have a supermajority. These are Republicans that are killing these bills over and over and over again, and just smiling and nodding to you as they do it, as if they have no choice. So there was a promise made to Representative Warner that this bill was going to get heard. Well, David Byrd, Representative David Byrd, who's retiring, made a motion. No one seconded the motion. any chairman, any committee member sitting up there could have seconded the motion. Anybody. Representative Robin Smith was supposed to be there to second the motion. Representative Robin Smith bailed in the middle of the hearing before the House Bill 2486 came up because she said she had to go work on another bill. We looked at her schedule. It doesn't seem that Representative Robin Smith had any other bills to work on today. I find it incredibly interesting that the same woman who killed House Bill 10 last year to secure religious exemptions to vaccines promised to be the second on the motion for the Patients' Rights Act to be heard today. And whenever it was her time to shine in all of her glory to make a second on the motion, she was nowhere to be found. Her seat was empty. Why? Because she had another bill to work on. Coincidentally, and this is public record, I'm not making accusation here. Here it is. It's right here before you. You can go look it up. I pulled her ethics filings to the Bureau of Elections, Finance, and Ethics from Tennessee whenever she ran for office. She has to disclose various loans and things entanglements that she may have. It just so happens, it's interesting to me. I find it interesting that Representative Robin Smith is on a pension from Pfizer. Don't you find that interesting? Is it just me, or do you find it incredibly interesting that a sitting member of this committee who was supposed to second the motion so that these men and women could testify on the Patients' Rights Act just also happens to have a pension from Pfizer? And doesn't it make all the sense in the world that Speaker Cameron Sexton would appoint a woman with a pension from Pfizer on the Health Committee? Isn't that just the way this all ought to work? And one more thing. Got another little bit of footage for you. Representative Mark Hall, where were you? Mr. Veteran, Mr. Conservative, Mr. Experience. By the way, Mark Hall is running in Bradley County for Senate. He's currently in the House. He's running for Senate for what's going to be Mike Bell's open seat coming up in 2022. So you might want to take a listen to this video at what he says whenever you go to cast your vote for Mark Hall for Senate.
Draft a bill that affects the future of patient treatment and physician care with my constituents, I've got a problem. So, the first rule of medicine is to do no harm. And I'm not...
I think you know what you're saying.
Hey, have a good day.
You too, sir.
Yeah, but don't worry. Do you hear what he says? But my constituents. So he's defending the fact that he didn't second this motion. He's saying, yeah, but my constituents, we can't give all this power to the patients. I mean, the hospitals have an obligation first to do no harm. And we called them out on the fact that this is just to secure patients' rights. He says, yeah, but this goes way beyond COVID. See, if we only secure patients' rights for COVID, oh, totally good. We can do that. But if we secure patients' rights beyond COVID, well, that's too much. So Bradley County, take notice, and everyone down there out of Cleveland, Tennessee, your guy running for Senate made it clear that he couldn't second the motion because that wouldn't be representing his constituents well. God forbid that he protect the rights of patients, because that's not good for his constituents. That's not what his constituents want. Remember that whenever you go to the poll. Let me leave you with this last clip. These are people in the committee as the committee adjourned. This is what you, the people, felt about what had just happened in the room.
Do your job!
These are my parents you murdered! You murdered them! The lady here, best friend, died because of the hospital protocol. Hospital protocol died! Parents don't have their parents!
And finally, I'll leave you on a high note. because this is what went down in the hallway with the doctors that were there, with people that were there to testify, with everyone that was there in red shirts to support these efforts and secure the rights of patients in hospitals. This is Tennessee, and this is what we do whenever the chips are down.
Himself, that God himself will take us to the finish line. We will show those folks in there what the right way to provide care is. So please, someone take it away, invoke the power of the Holy Spirit.
And remember,
Dr. Cole.
ours is not a spirit of fear, ours is a spirit
Yes.
of love.
Amen.
Whatever we do going forward, truth and love, let's continue to do it in that way.
Amen.
All right, I guess I'll pray real quick then, since I'm the loudmouth. And I don't pray like regular people, so just get ready. Hey, God, it's everybody in the state of Tennessee right here. I want to pray a hedge of protection and a covering over all of these medical professionals that are looking out for our health and our well-being. They're not looking out just for us, but our families and the people that we care about. We want to pray that we open our hearts to the people that are hurting us and that we welcome them into your kingdom, that there is a way to change their minds, there is a way to change their hearts.
Clearly, I'm frustrated. All of us that were there, as you could tell from the video clip that I showed you, are frustrated. Why? Because we continue to be ignored by these people. Look, you could put, those monkeys? You know the monkeys that do this? You just wind them up and they have a couple of symbols and they just sit there and you could set those monkeys up in these seats in these committees and you'd get about just as many rights secured in Tennessee as you would with the monkeys, as you do with these people that we have in there. I'm telling you. God help us. Hickson, Tennessee, down in Chattanooga. You got anybody running against Robin Smith? I don't know. Is anybody down there going to run? Are we actually going to put people in the General Assembly that will actually defend the rights of others, of individuals secured by our Constitution? Is there anybody else running for this Senate seat out of Bradley County? I do believe there actually is someone running against Bob Ramsey down in Blount County. People, wake up. Your Republican Party has been giving it to you for too long. It is time that conservative-minded, lovers of our Constitution, God-fearing, red-blooded Americans who live in Tennessee, Tennesseans who love this state, better stand up, pray, and run for office and change the people in these seats. If you are unable to fulfill that call, we will continue day in and day out to get what we've got. We can't do that anymore. It's time for a change. Let's go do it.